Women are complicated. But to that point, whoever said complicated was a bad thing.
I run track, I run cross country. I also am a member of Honor Council, International Club, Students Against Destructive Decision, a founder and president of Environmental Club. Keeping in contact with your friends, like while doing your homework, being able to balance everything. It's just so much, but it's so much fun at the same time. I always kept my options open, like they're completely on the limited list, and my mom taught me from an early age just to shoot for the stars, and I can do anything I want. I kind of still keep that with me. She's genuinely grateful, and she talks to me about that a lot, just having a good life and being really happy with who you are.
I was really looking for a guide or several guides. I wasn't necessarily looking for someone to tell me the right answer. I was just looking for people to shed a little light on how women today are deciding what is important to them and where they want to go with their lives and how they're going to be fulfilled, and just kind of share that so that people, myself included, can use that to look and really take a nice, honest look at our own lives. I think you can expect to see 6 women who are, on paper, totally different. Some of them have children, some don't. Some work, some don't. Some pour themselves into charity. But they're all very similar. There's a common thread in that they seem to me like they felt like they had it all. And I was curious as to how'd they get there? What did they learn along the way? Were they so different than me? Were they so different than my friends? Did they have something we didn't, or know something that we didn't know?
I'm Katie. I have 4 kids.
I remember when I was single, I was in a wedding and my partner had just had a baby, and I said, "Oh, does your wife work?" And I was single, and he said, "No, she stays home," and I kind of scoffed. I did kind of see myself as more of a career person, and my sister, I have a sister who's a year younger than me, and I always figured she's going to have 8 kids, and I'm going to have like the cute car and the apartment, and it's totally flipped. She's like, "Don't take away my Maxima, I don't want a minivan." And that was, 14 years ago. I'm still driving minivans.
I'm Hillary. I have 2 children, a 2-year-old and an 8-month-old.
They're my passion, they're my life, they're everything. I've given so much of myself to them that, sometimes they are kind of me, and it's hard to draw that line and remember who you are. There's still a Hillary. It's not like Hillary and her kids. It's tough.
I'm Melissa. I live in Aurora. I teach high school Spanish. 4-year-old daughter, and I have number 2 little boy on the way.
I resigned and 2 weeks later started an intensive master's program, which was a 10-month program. And then I thought, I'm doing the same thing. I'm never home again. I'm gone till 8 or 9 at night, and then hurry up, go to bed. Mommy has a 20-page paper to write. But I knew it was temporary.
I've been in international business for 24 years, working in international banking for 10, and then working in my own business for the past 10 years. No kids, no family, pretty much workaholic.
Coming from abusive relationship to divorce to through all that, I'm still so happy and content. So that feeling of contentment, happiness, the empowerment to feel that you can do what you want, I've been able to spread that to others. I've been able to make people happy, learn inner peace.
And I'm Radhika Reddy.
I'm Annette. I have a 2-year-old as of today. Today's her birthday, 2-year-old daughter and a 4-week-old. Wow. And I, as Radhika mentioned, a partner in Aerial Ventures.
Having those fundamental interests, and we have a lot of shared interests, whether it's music or anything. A lot of things we do we enjoy, and having that basic values, even though we are different personality-wise, we complement so well because of the shared joy, shared interests. It's just phenomenal. Just clicked.
I think, definitely getting most motivated by just accomplishing things. It's not, we don't look to the outcome, or we need to make a lot of money, or it's just the taking on a big challenging project. We both thrive on that, and we've done some amazing things that most people, when we started, said you'll never accomplish that, you'll never be able to do that. And
yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. I mean, we're so thrilled if we both get together. There's nothing we can't do.
I think definitely trying to keep in perspective priorities in my life, trying to, from a practical standpoint, just really establish time. And I have extremely supportive partners. We kind of decide together, where do we want to take this?
Karen Ulrich Mullen. I am married, got married late in life, 4 years in July. No children, work full-time in advertising and marketing.
My climbing the corporate ladder days may possibly be over. Personally, I need to let go. I need to work from 9 to 5 and forget it. I mean, just being in the for-profit sector for so long and being an account service person and a manager, I have my cell phone with me, I log onto the computer. I just have to learn to enjoy my life, take the time off. I really love to spend the time around the house, and I find it very difficult at this age. When I was in 20s or 30s, it's very different. You have all this abundance of energy, and I just want to relax a little bit. So,
not many people are as open to sharing their personal struggles and triumphs with the world. Many people keep those sorts of things close to the vest, and I think that's where the real value of a film like this is that you learn from people sharing with each other, and that's the only way women can feel like, hey, I'm not crazy. There are people going through exactly the same thing I'm going through, even though their life is so different than mine. We can all relate. We're all facing the same things, and that only comes out when someone is really willing to just totally open themselves up and share, their whole story.
Like I said, I open my life up to my friends so they know they're not crazy, and it's okay to open up and to be real. We're real people. We don't need to hide behind, the house and our little fences and our little cars.
Nobody has a perfect life. I don't care how much you analyze making a decision. There are going to be times that you look back and it wasn't perfect and it could have gone better, but that is so critical to growth and the next time you have to make a decision. And
I decided the best way to go about this discovery process was to really break it into the topics that I hear all the time, over cocktails with my girlfriends, the types of things my mom's talking about with her friends over the kitchen table, those things that women all talk about, and just the common themes that we're all struggling with and dealing with. Women naturally feel guilty. No matter what they're juggling, who they're juggling, how many hats they're wearing, they feel like there isn't enough time, and they feel guilty, like they should be doing more. And I wanted to hear from these real women, is this true?
I was working on my master's, I had a 1-year-old, and I'm a yes person. I'm a Libra, I want balance. Yes to everybody, yes at home, yes at work, yes. And the doctor said, you have to say no, you're doing too much. And I'm like, well, if I can, why shouldn't I drive 18 miles out of my way to do something for someone when And I did start saying, like you said, you started letting her, I started saying no. I mean, and then it took me a while, like, oh, I probably can't believe that I just said no, I'm not going to that party, or I'm not dropping this off for them. But I just said, you know what, I need to focus on my health and my family and not say yes to everything. And I found a better balance, because what good am I if I'm going to get sick or not, be crabby and tired at the end of the day. You need 4 things. You need time with your children, you need time with your spouse, you need time with friends, and you need time alone. And in this day and age when nobody has time for anything, that's really hard, but I've been working on that, and I see a huge difference in myself. Like I'm calmer with my daughter, I'm getting along better with my husband, I laugh with my girlfriends, and I go get a manicure when I need a manicure.
If I'm gone for several hours.
With the kids or just in
without,
general with the
without.
decision?
I feel guilty when I do something for myself.
Oh, you see.
Well, my oldest is 14, and he's going to high school this summer. He plays hockey. And my second is a girl, and she plays soccer and basketball, and she's going into 7th grade. And then I have a 9-year-old boy who also plays hockey, so we're a crazy hockey family. Takes up the whole year. Even in the summer, we're playing hockey. And then my youngest is 6, and she dances and plays soccer. You know, it just, now there's almost too much for them to do. They have so many choices. So they start early in everything. So that's what fills our weekends, sporting events. No social life for the parents. It's all about the kids.
When you do choose to take time for yourself, just relaxing and feeling it's okay. It's okay. They're fine. Work's fine.
Right,
I'm taking time for myself and I'm going to enjoy it, and I'm not going to sit and look at my watch, or I'm not going to pick up the phone and check my voicemails 3 times, or I'm not going to call home to see.
I know, I have a friend like that. She's a stay-at-home mom. She has 5 kids. And we went to lunch. I actually took her to lunch this Saturday for her birthday, and she was constantly like, with the watch. I'm like, what's with the watch?
Yeah, I feel guilty leaving my kids with a babysitter, just because our family's not local. So it was always teenagers, and I always kind of felt like, oh, I have to get home. That was me looking at my watch. Okay, all right, hurry up. Right. I have to be somewhere, or someone needs a ride, or so it's my responsibility, and I can't push that on someone else, I think.
Do you suffer from guilt too?
No, absolutely.
Yeah, continue.
I don't. My kids are still so young, and I feel like, I don't know. I was thinking. Also, it's kind of a control issue too. What did they eat exactly, or how many times you change their diaper, or how long did they sleep, or
Maybe I'm a bad mom.
you know, I mean, that's what
No,
I
I'd
do
like to
all
know
day.
that,
That's
but
what I do all day long. So that's just like your job. You come in and you check your email and your messages and just like that kind of routine. Is when you're at home and this is what you do day in, day out, sun up to sundown. If your day is bad, that's it. You just weren't good that day. And I just don't feel good about myself. But I think if I worked also, I could maybe be crappy at home, but I could go to my job and I could be good at my job. And I could still feel real good about myself that I did a good job at work.
Time is so precious and so valuable these days. And I just really, I think women seem to be so busy no matter what they do, whether they're busy with their families, their homes, their gardens, their spouses, their travel, their work, their professional lives, or anything. And everybody's time is equally spent, no matter whether you're going to work 9 to 5 or whether you're working full time in the home or juggling both.
Yeah, one thing I've tried very hard to do is not to feel any guilt.
Right.
Because I feel every moment we choose. So before making a decision, I weigh what is it I'm giving up, what is it I'm taking on. And I weigh everything till I make the minute my decision is made, I have no guilt. So many people do things for others, but they're not happy. They're doing it because they don't want to displease.
Right.
They're not doing it for the pure joy of it. If you do it because you enjoy doing and enjoy giving,
Right.
you can do anything. And just
It's not really any big surprise that change can be incredibly difficult. But I've also witnessed a lot of women who use change as an opportunity to do some of their most incredible growth. So I wanted to know, what were the most major life changes that these women have gone through? How did they get through their transitions? How did they cope? What did they learn? Would they do it again?
Work late, so I didn't mind working till 6 or 7. I'd go in at Saturdays. And I loved my job, and it was a lot of adult interaction, and a big part of my job, because it was sales, was entertaining. Just steak dinners, going to the airport, when clients would come into town from other countries, taking them to Niagara Falls. I mean, I got paid to do this. I was perfectly happy doing it. I loved it. And when our daughter was born, I got to stay home, the 12 weeks. Woohoo! I wasn't even sleeping through the night. I was lunatic. Yeah. And 5 months had to start traveling again. And I was in Phoenix, and the phone rang at 4 in the morning, and my husband, I hear the baby crying. And even though we had family helping, we had just that not knowing and the pressure of me being gone. He's like, work. What are we going to do? And I said, and I was missing my daughter, of course.
sure.
I mean, I was trying to be super businesswoman and super mom, and it was not, and super wife, and it was crumbling. And I said, we'll talk about it when we get home. And I said, well, now we've accustomed ourselves to a lifestyle. We had just built a house. Okay, what do you want me to do? Stay home? And he would have, possibly liked that, but I said, that's not me. I mean, I just knew I wouldn't be happy that way either. And I became a school teacher, and it cracks me up when my friends laugh. It wasn't like, my whole life, like, I want to be a school teacher, It's like, because people, have that dream. I'm not dogging it. I love being a teacher now, though. I've been teaching only 3 years, and I love it. I teach high school, and I use my corporate experiences a lot to tell, the students about, but that was a huge transition from the corporate world to carrying my bag lunch, because all the teams, they all pack their lunch, and I was like, oh, we're not going to the Olive Garden at noon,
A little podunk town way out in the middle of nowhere. I'm pregnant, away from my family, my mom especially. We're just starting out being married, all the changes that go with that, and he started a new job, and he was at work all the time, and shortly after that I had a baby. He was gone all the time. I was alone with this child. I had no mothers around, to help. It was huge. And through all that, then I also quit working because I was going to stay home and be a mother.
Yeah. A lot of change.
It all came at me.
And I tell you, when I first had Olivia, I think that's a lot of what brought me into a lot of the postpartum. I thought, I'm never going to be able to do this again. I'm never going to be able to do that again. And I just was so focused on that. I got so much anxiety about that. And it's really not like that. I will eventually be able to go out and do those things again. And right now, it's more important to stay at home with my children and, to help raise my family.
Ladder, I had just made partner in a firm, and I had, that it was 10, 11 years that I had been with the firm, and that was, my heart and soul was there, and I had given everything, and I thought I would be there forever. I never even questioned doing anything else, and that was, I had given so much, and I had finally made it, and I was there, and just, I think, met Radhika, and we started working on some things together, but started to, I think, really start to see this entrepreneurial spirit that I always had. I always had that drive, and I was able to accomplish it within the firm for 10 or 11 years, but started to feel like I think I need to really try something different on my own. And I struggled with that decision for a good 6 months, heart-wrenching struggle of a decision, and left something that was very secure. I knew I had finally gotten to the point that I was actually going to start making some money, and I had, I made it, I finally made it. And then to leave and start something totally new.
I think getting married was harder for me because we had a long distance relationship. I lived in Pennsylvania working, and he lived in Baltimore. So I get married and moved to Baltimore. And I remember coming home from our honeymoon, driving home from the airport. I can picture this perfectly, and I'm thinking, oh my God, what am I doing here? Not against him, but here I am in this town. I know where nothing is. I have no job. And the nature of his job, he travels every week. He's gone. And I knew that coming in. But as we're driving, I'm thinking, I have nothing. I have no friends here. I have no job. I have him, which is wonderful, but he's not going to be around. So every day I would drive to the grocery store because that's the only place I knew how to get as I was looking for a job. And to go from the single life that I had, my job, my friends, my apartment, my cute car, I'm his wife with no job, with no anything. That was hard for me. My identity shifted to spouse.
I was a banker in middle management, very successful, never interested in coming to the U.S. My father was pretty well placed, he was the head of the FBI equivalent in India. Very privileged life growing up. And then I get this Rotary International Scholarship to come to do a one-year MBA in US. And I come here and I come with $20 and a scholarship, nothing. I have, and the scholarship money didn't arrive for a month, so I have $20. I'm living on cereal, bread, and you have 100 people dropping in every day at your home. I had 200 friends. I mean, birthday parties were at least 200. Relatives parties get together was 1,000. My brother's wedding is like 8,000 people. Oh my! You come from this country of 1 billion people to nobody speaks to you. I cried every day. It was horrible, and everything was like so foreign. It was so scary. I didn't know the rules, and even a simple thing like I was telling some people, like in India, if you want someone to eat, if someone offers you food, you respectfully say no, no, no one time. And again, they say eat, eat if they mean it, so you say no, no, no. And third time they offer, that means they're sincere, and that's how you accept food. So it's very polite to ask 3 times, and it's polite to refuse 2 times. So I go to my first Rotary International luncheon because I came, and then they offered me food. So I said no, 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 and they took the food away.
And then you're still hungry. Okay, wait. 2 more times.
And then I'm calling up home and saying how rude people are. I'm driving through and I see the Cleveland Indian Stadium. I was like, oh, there's so many Indians here. They have a stadium for all the Indians. Different Indians. There's so many Indians in Cleveland. I was so happy.
Their house right in there.
I thought that was the meeting place. Never heard of this.
Where does passion come from? Does it have to be tied to one specific thing? Does it have to be about family? Where will a woman's heart take her? And where can she find that kind of fulfillment?
I would say the most important thing, obviously, are my kids and my family. This was really the reason why I stayed home, because when I had my first child, I was working 12 hours a day. I would have needed daycare 12 hours a day, so I kind of thought, I don't want to have a baby that someone else is with all day. If I just wanted to be there, and I had read something, it was probably Dear Abby or something, unintellectual at the time, but when I was pregnant, and it said, at the end of your life, what would you regret? What do you think you would regret? Missing a few years of work or missing a few years with your kids?
My passion, my life is my husband and my children. I mean, that is the most important thing to me. I gave up everything. I wanted to climb the corporate ladder. I wanted to be the head of some company, and I gave it all up because I remember everything that my mother gave to me when I was at home and a little girl. She stayed home. She gave up her career, and there was nothing better than have my mommy at home. And that was my personal choice. It was a very selfless thing to do. It was really hard. I would piss and moan all day long, thinking I should be at work, I could be enjoying this, or I could be doing this to make myself feel better. But in the long run, I know I am doing the right thing for me.
Right. Had a horse for 30 years, who played a major role, I think, in who I am and what I am. When I was 10 years old, my parents got him for me, spoiled little girl, and went on the show circuit, started to ride, was very successful, and one day going to a horse show, and we noticed a clear spot in his eye, and we ended up rushing him down to Ohio State Veterinary Hospital, and he was diagnosed with uveitis, which is a congenital disease that goes from, in his case, went from one eye to the other, and he was completely blind by the time he was 4. He died a couple years ago, a couple weeks shy of 30. So he was pretty amazing and lived a full life, and I think taught me and everybody I know that was involved, peripherally with him, just really, how wonderful life is.
I need to have a balance in my life. I know that. I know for me to be happy and to always enjoy what I'm doing, I have to have the right balance of a career and a family and volunteer, the right mix. But when it fundamentally comes down to, the question you saw in the paper or wherever you read it, ultimately, definitely top priority number one, most important is my family.
I like the saying, which I believe, to live in the hearts you leave behind is not to die. If I could do something very impactful that has affected millions of people, or thousands, whatever, it's start off few hundreds, thousands, if I can make a huge global organization that helps a lot, that lives on, I would love to know that I've impacted. And if someday I can impact international trade policy and clear misunderstandings. I feel with my background with 25 years in international business, with the finance, accounting, tax, and I want to get my law degree, that I want to impact international trade and policy and goodwill. So I feel, in a way, my biggest strength has been that I'm alone. I can do so much. The unattachment is what allows me to help millions instead of just helping 1-2 people.
So, since I did approach these women as guides of sorts, one of the key questions was, what has your experience taught you that would be valuable for someone starting out on the same path to know?
You know, you want to be independent. You want to be just like everybody else. You know, if you're 13, you want to be 18, and when you're 18, you want to be 25, and when you're 30, you want to be 18 again. You know.
And love yourself first. You know,
Right.
you hear that you have to love yourself before you can give, and it maybe sounds cliche or
But it
trite,
is.
but it is so true.
Find it in yourself, not
First.
in a male. Figure out what it is you're good at or you love to do before you attach yourself to someone.
That spousal identity, you become, Jim's wife, John's
Oh,
wife,
right,
and if you don't have, I'm Melissa first, then you will be so-and-so's wife, or so you
so-and-so's
need to-
mother, or
right,
so-and-so's-
absolutely,
Right.
yeah.
A 20-year-old, just take your time and you know what? Love your 20s.
No rush.
Right.
Enjoy your life the way you see fit, because before you know it, you're 30.
Or
I'm in 40.
I think it's all about attitude. My dad always, he was in Vietnam, and one quote he always said to me was, I cried because I had no shoes until I saw a man who had no feet.
You know, I think women feel a lot of pressure from a lot of different places, actually, from the world in general, from their families, from men, from their peers, from other women, unfortunately. And it kind of got me wondering if there was any group that was exempt, or is there any path that a woman can feel, okay, I'm finally free of people judging the choices that I've made.
One of the biggest things is, I stay at home. People say, what do you do? I stay at home. Well, that's all you do. You just stay home with your kids, and I'm very proud of that. But I also want people to know that I did go out, and I do have a degree, and I am educated, and I think people look kind of down on me because I chose the path to stay home with my children.
See, I feel people that look down on me because I go to work sometimes, because I don't stay home.
Yeah.
That,
Can't
right, you can't, the grass is always greener on the other
Right.
side, But I've had, people, I actually, when I had to travel when my daughter was very young, I had someone say to me, and she stayed at home with her children, her chores, great. How could you ever leave her?
Because I get them the same as you, same thing. How could you send your daughter to daycare? 'Cause my daughter's in daycare.
Right.
And, but usually the people that are saying that are the ones with the issues.
I didn't make choices to get married and have children. That was never part of my life's course. I was very independent, and my life took me where it is. Well, I got married at 38, and I was on birth control. It just didn't happen, and we didn't talk about getting married either. So, I guess if I would not have been on birth control or whatever, if I would have gotten pregnant, that would have been fine.
So often you hear of women, and hearing it from their grandparents, their aunts and uncles, their whole family, gee, you're 21, you don't even have a boyfriend, and when are you going to have kids? That clock is ticking. My parents never, ever said anything like that to me, and I think that is just a beautiful thing.
So the question I was dying to ask is, do they have it all?
I can honestly say I have it all. I have it all. I have a wonderful husband that provides a beautiful home and an environment for me to be able to stay home and raise my family. I have it all. And I have wonderful parents, and he has wonderful parents, and we have fabulous friends and family, and I really do have it all.
Ironically, last night at 3:30 in the morning, I was saying that to my husband. I said, we have a lot to be thankful for. There's a lot of bumps in the roads, sicknesses in the family or problems with the business or a rough day with your kids at home, but overall, you turn on the TV or read the paper and you just say, gosh, I have a lot to be thankful for. Things happen, but I'm very grateful to have and to be where I'm at today.
Well, nobody has it all. But, yeah, for my life the way it is, it's great. And you can never have it all. I mean, you have it all to yourself. I mean, I think I have it all. As what I need, what I want, it's all there.
All in all, every day I count my blessings. I do. I have a wonderful life. I have a wonderful family, a wonderful husband, phenomenal work. I don't know what else I could ask for. Almost to the point that I sometimes feel guilty about it when I see other people that are suffering. But I do. I have a tremendous life. I do have it all.
Absolutely. Your own personal satisfaction, there's always something you can do. I think it's all what you make of your life.
You look around you and so many people unhappy, not content, even though socially they may have everything they want, whether it's husband, kids, wealth, but you see so much unhappiness, and relatively I still feel I'm one of the happiest people I ever know, so I do feel very blessed.
Maybe that's your individual having it all. And then once that becomes clear, decisions in your life become so much easier. Do I stay home? Do I go to work? What do I, daily decisions become so much easier because it's so clear where you're headed. And maybe that's what kind of having it all is all about. And it's so individual because everybody's answer to that question would be so different. So that's that. They said it probably better than I could have. This film started out about me. I'm a 20-something-year-old woman trying to figure out what I can do to have it all and what that even means. But it's bigger than me. It's every woman who looks at someone else doing things differently and says, should I be doing that? So, the big secret, the big reveal of the secret to having it all is that there is no secret. It's different for everybody. What's right for me isn't necessarily right for you. We all make our own decisions, we choose our own paths, we find our own happiness. Sometimes we'll really screw up. But all along we go the way knowing there's no right or wrong answer. It's up to each of us, as a woman, to figure out what does it mean to me to have it all? And then, go get it.
They're doing great things, and that's a rewarding part of teaching. It's very, very rewarding working with children who are disadvantaged and feeling good about what you can do for them. I could go out and get a job. The only dowry a poor man can give his daughter is a good education. Oh, you asked me about the opportunities for women. As I started to say, when I read some of the time the alumni news, I'm amazed at some of the things my home economic major friends ended up doing. And I went into service. And that was really the greatest thing that happened to me, because that's where I met my husband. I had my first date with him October 10th, 1944, and we were married October 19th, 1945. And we stayed married till he died in 1997, 52 and a half years. And it was great. I'm not sorry for the era I lived in, because I don't care, and I think I had the greatest marriage. Anybody who knew both of us will tell you that. All marriages have ups and downs. I mean, you're living a very dull life if you agree with everything. Gosh, my husband voted for Eisenhower and I voted for Stevenson. So you can see what's wrong in your life and try to change it. Being a mother is as much a career as anybody can have. There was never any pressure, but you can have them both now. See, I'm a very happy lady. I really am. I really am. Oh, hard things happen. So you see, everybody's criteria of what they want out of life is different.